Every day, countless young women and men fall victim to trafficking. Some are rescued, but the lasting scars and trauma endure. In this installment of Heart Matters, Heart FM's news editor Leanne Jansen brings you the raw and often inhumane side of human trafficking. As such, we have to warn you that the following content is of a graphic nature and it may act as a trigger.
Brutal kicking and smacking by these three guys. And I'm like, okay, maybe the house is getting robbed. The same thing is getting done to her. Or, yeah, I'm just going to get killed or something because my clothes were starting to get off. And then just the pain around my handcuffs with the duct tape. You know, one guy is holding me and one guy is pressing my eyes with the duct tape. And that's where I thought, okay, this is it. They injected me with a drug behind my knees, and that was to sort of lower body numbness.
This is Griselda Grootboom. Her family had fallen on hard times in the 90s when she was just 13 years old. Under the false pretense of a better life in Johannesburg, she followed a school friend who'd seemingly been well off. Grootboom had taken a train to Joburg's Park station where she'd met up with a friend who we've chosen not to name. They then made their way to an apartment near Yeoville, and that's where it all went bust.
I think the reason I was so emotional because it's still the physical and the emotional scars. That being pressed down, and I think the anger that comes with that moment and betrayal, you can definitely kill somebody after that because it wasn't even long when men just came in. I think maybe the more I actually do talk about it, then I wrote about it. That first day was like, whew, you know, a lot of them.
Did you see her again? After she had dropped you in the flat, right? And she said, I'm leaving to get you something to eat. Did you see her again?
Now that's the part, Leanne, that gets me every time I talk about, because I didn't. And I was in the back of my mind looking for this person, and I didn't see her. So the question of why I was still in Joburg, I was looking for this person.
And I'm sure you wanted to ask her, why did you do this to me?
And funny enough, I wanted to ask if she was okay. No, seriously.
Katie Modrau is the South Africa country manager for global anti-trafficking organization A21. According to her, as with any business, trafficking only flourishes when there is a high supply and demand with low risk. Trafficking presents itself in many forms, from migrant to organ and arguably most notably sex. Alarmingly, Modrau says conditions in South Africa are favorable enough for these criminals due to the low risk of either being caught or prosecuted. This means that law enforcers in this country will have to get a handle on this issue in order for human trafficking to effectively be addressed.
Someone may not know what they're coming to do. So they're recruited to work in a call center and they'll end up being forced into to working on the streets and selling sex. Now, they were fully deceived. Someone may be partially deceived. They may know what they're going to do, but the terms and conditions have changed. So yes, I wanted to engage in this, in this community, in this context, but I didn't know that I wasn't going to make my own money. I didn't know I was going to be beaten if I didn't make enough money. I didn't know I had no freedom of movement. Sometimes we have to look past what we see on the outside and ask the questions to see what's underneath. And that, I think, is not just more sectors getting involved, to come back to your question, is, do we actually understand what trafficking looks like so that we can help? We can look past the mask. We often say human trafficking is a crime hidden in plain sight. It looks like something else. But once you take 5 minutes and you ask 2 to 3 questions deeper, you start to see this person didn't engage in drug use on their own. This person, didn't do X, Y, and Z of their own volition. They were coerced into doing it. They were threatened into doing it. And that means they were a victim. That means they were trafficked. And how do we assist them to get out of it?
Western Cape Social Development MEC Yakul Lont says they're doing all they can, together with various stakeholders, including A21 and PRASA, to detect and prevent trafficking. He says they're increasing awareness drives in a bid to clamp down.
And that is why it is important to have awareness of everybody, to be the eyes and ears of potential victims. And there's amazing organizations that do awareness work throughout the year.
If you've fallen victim to trafficking or know of someone who has, please do not hesitate to call the helpline number on 0800 222 777. For Heart FM News, I'm Leanne Jansen.